Alright, thank you all for coming. So we are Trackstars and our project Scene Sprinter. My name's Cody, this is George, Andrew, Zahid and Shaylin. So first off, I just want to go over some statistics for the project. So we spent a total of 1,720 hours between us, and that came from around 1,200 hours of actual development time and around 500 hours of things like meetings and presentations and other things behind the scenes. And one thing we found interesting was if this was a paid project, if you were paying one developer for this amount of hours, even at minimum wage, it would be around $36,000, which is quite a lot of money if we don't say so. Now, this is the graph of the amount of hours we spent throughout the year. The red is deferred hours, meaning they didn't get completed or not completed at all. The green is completed hours. The yellow is tasks that were under review. The blue is tasks that were in progress, and if you can see it, the grey is tasks to do. Through this graph, you can see a few things. You can see the separation of our sprints. Towards the end of the sprint, the large increase of completed work, and at the start of the sprints, the large amount of work added to do. You can also see throughout the start of the year, you can see the plateau of work, and that was over the mid-semester break where we kind of just had a break from the project and gave ourselves some time off. You can also see two of our members leaving throughout the year, Priscilla towards the start and also Thomas towards the middle of the year. And despite this, you can actually see that our velocity towards the end increased a lot as we began to function better as a team despite losing these team members. Now, going into this project, we didn't really know what to expect. It was the first time a lot of us had been in such a massive project, and we knew that it was, as we're going to be in a team for such a long period of time, if we wanted to be successful, we knew we needed to learn how to function properly as a team. There was a lot of growing plans when doing this, and it took us a long time to actually become a successful team, and losing the team members throughout the year really came as a shock and a surprise to us, and it was something that we had not planned for, and it really affected our progress, and we really had to learn to adapt to this and change our process in order to become an effective team despite losing the members.
Another challenge we faced as a team was adapting to new technologies. As we started the project, we all had to learn Spring and Timeleaf, as well as the existing code base. While we picked up new technologies for sprints, we had to all adapt to them as a team, and this required lots of pair programming to spread the knowledge to everybody. Another challenge we faced was merging the two teams. In Sprint 1, we had one team do Timeleaf on the front end and the other do JavaScript, and when we came to merge, we had a bit of difficulty because we had two front ends. And as a team, we managed to decide to drop Timeleaf and go with JavaScript. And then later in the project, we all decided as a team to drop JavaScript and move to React. Another challenge we faced was testing, as we did not implement automated GUI or acceptance testing, and instead relied heavily on manual testing. And this came back to bite us, as we did fail lots of stories on bugs. But we managed to combat this by doing a lot of documented manual testing while developing and while reviewing stories. And another challenge we faced was the final race to finish implementation before the deadlines. We often had lots of merging done in the hours coming up to our submission dates. And in the final sprint, we managed to fix this by having a merge deadline about 2 days before, which gave us lots of time to polish up the product and do lots of testing to make sure it was high quality. While working on the project, we learned a lot as a team. Firstly, we learned how to work effectively with each other. We learned how to ask each other for help, as well as teach each other and learn from each other. We also learned how to follow the Scrum process. This includes effectively tasking out stories, making good estimates, having fast stand-up meetings, and making useful action items in the stand-ups. We also learned how to communicate with each other. This includes helping each other in the Slack chats when somebody was stuck and organizing times to pair program. We also learned how to communicate with the teaching team, aka the stakeholders, to request new technologies and ask for guidance.
With some additional learnings, We found that feedback, it was an essential part of the course and actually built into the course. At the end of every sprint, we had an opportunity to give feedback to all of our fellow team members, which was then conveyed by the teaching team as really representative and high-level learnings. This feedback, not only a learning was to give good feedback, but a big learning was also to be able to take the feedback. Having smart actionable plans at the start of each sprint on how you can improve always helped us, and we slowly got better and better throughout the year at learning to apply this feedback. Team culture, boy, that's a biggie. Team culture was so important. A team which doesn't trust each other, they're not going to be open, they're not going to be honest, and it halts development as such. As such, whilst we still have learning to do within this aspect, we resorted to using team events, in one particular instance mini golf, which helped boost morale for all of us, and we also started to implement weather checks, which are a process in which we basically see how we're all feeling regularly. This gives us context of each other's mental states and allows us just to relate better to each other in things like stand-ups. Documentation, that's another biggie. When two of our team members left, some of them worked on some aspects such as a React page, which we didn't have too much documentation on how to continue or expand the design on. Having these documents and procedures in writing and easily available to anyone would have solved quite a few issues going through and in development, especially increasing robustness when it comes to the unexpected. With testing, we started off with just unit tests. Eventually we realized we should probably have some acceptance tests which fulfilled the acceptance criteria. As such, we didn't realize how we could do automated testing, so we took to manual sheets. First of all, manual testing. We had a large spreadsheet, first of all. In fact, we didn't even have a spreadsheet. First of all, we started it on a wiki. We're using Markdown for our tests. This was not that robust and led to some issues, such as it being quite hard to add. We then transitioned to a spreadsheet. The only problem with this is everyone had to download and then re-upload every single time tests were made. Eventually, we finally got it right and had a collaborative document in which anyone could add it to easily add a manual test or log a manual test. This helped us considerably, but of course, automation would have helped considerably earlier on. That's our key learnings. So we have a demonstration of the entire application here, which is a recorded video. If I can find the mouse cursor. There it is.
Hello and welcome to SandSprinter. My name is Shaylin and I'll be demonstrating our project details page for you today. We start off at the login screen where users can enter their credentials to log in. New users would have to go through the registration page where they'd have to enter in all their details before registering. This takes us to the My Accounts page, where users can see their details, their name, and their profile picture. As you can see, I don't have a profile picture yet, so I'll click Edit Profile Photo. I'll select a image. Now I can crop this to the desired shape and size and save it. This now appears on the page as well as on the navbar. Additionally, users can also choose to edit their details or their password at any point in time. If we navigate to the Users tab, we can see a list of all users currently active in the system. As a teacher, I have permission to add and delete roles. However, I cannot add or delete roles for myself. The role system has 3 levels, where student is the lowest, teacher is in between, and course administrator is in the highest. Certain features in the application are restricted to only teachers or course administrators. Next, we can navigate to the project details page. Here we can see the project, as well as all of the events, deadlines, milestones, and sprints that occur within it. If I were to create a new sprint, I can give it a set of dates and a color. As you can see, the sprints are color-coded, and if I were to create an event that takes place within both sprints, we can see that a color gradient from the green sprint to the red sprint appears, indicating this. If we click on the More Details button, we can see exactly which sprints these are, and if we show the details of the sprint, we can see which events, deadlines, and milestones take place within it. Further, I can also choose to edit sprints. However, if someone else is editing something at the same time as me, a notification will appear indicating that I am unable to edit this myself. If I click the View Monthly Planner button, I am taken to the Monthly Planner page, where I can see a calendar view of the same project. As you can see, the sprints are still color-coded, and the events, deadlines, and milestones show up as icons beneath them. Hovering over any of these shows its full details. If I click on a sprint, I am able to edit it, and if I try and move it to an invalid date, it does not allow this.
So I will demo our group feature. In our group page, as you can see, there are two groups. One is a teacher group and one is a non-group. These groups stay there by default. Any user with a teacher's role is added to a teacher's group automatically, and any user who does not belong to a group is added to a non-group by default. We currently have another group that we have added recently. It's a presentation group. Myself is a member of that. We can manage users. So let's say in the teaching team, currently we have Andrew, Shaylin, myself, Cody, and Jane. Let's say we remove Jane from there, and we can do that. And now you see Jane is not part of teaching team anymore. As we remove someone from a group, their role as a teacher is removed as well. So that person is no longer a teacher. We can add, let's say, presentation group. So we can manage people there. We can add people from other groups to the current group as well. Let's say we have everyone in there. So we'll go back to all. Jane is not part of a presentation group. If we go add to the current group and save, Jane is now a member of the current group. As a teacher, I can create a new group. Let's create a new group called interviews. We can assign a new long name. And save. As you can see, we have a new group now, which currently does not have any repository settings. Let's create some repository. As you can see, now our new group have a repository associated with it. You can see interview repo as the alias name. You can see the branches, and you can see the number of commits with the link to go to them. And now I will demo our group feed feature, which is really unique from all of the teams, and we are really proud of. If we go view feed for presentation group, as you can see, I cannot unsubscribe from this group because I'm a member of the group. I can create a new post. Let's create a new post quickly. Let's save that. And as you can see, the new post that I just created is shown on top of the page. Other users who are subscribed to this group will receive notification that I've posted a new post, and then they can comment and high five to it. Another very cool feature that we have is a homepage. On a homepage, you can see posts from every group that you are a member of or you're subscribed to. As you can see, I can see groups, teacher group post, and the post from presentation group. Let's go ahead and remove myself from a presentation group. And as you can see, after removing myself from presentation group, I have an option to unsubscribe or subscribe. If I go back to the home page, you will see a difference between the post from teachers and a post from presentation group. Post from presentation group, I have an option to unsubscribe because I'm not a member of that group anymore, so I can unsubscribe from that group. And if I unsubscribe, it will remove all the posts for that group from my homepage. Another very cool feature we have implemented is lazy loading to reduce the load on the back end and to minimize the number of requests. So at first, the page will load only 20 posts. And as the user scrolls down to the end of the page, it will load the next 20 posts.
Another cool feature with our posts that we've done is to implement the high five or react feature. You see like likes or something in Facebook, and also the commenting feature. These likes, if you hover over them, will show you the list of people who have already liked them and the amount of people who have liked them. And if you click on it, it will like the post for you. And all the posts that you've liked are shown in with this highlighting and the colourfulness. And if you click it again, it will remove your like and remove you from the liked list. And if we have a look at some comments, if you go into the post, it will show comments and any previous comments are made for this. And I can also make a comment on the post, even though it's my own post. So it'd be like, I can reply to a comment or anything relating to the post, you can put it on there and it will post like that. You may have also noticed that we have a notifications feature, and as a notification happens, it will pop up on the screen in different ways, and it will show up as different events are occurring. So you can see here, so Jane Doe teacher liked my post and commented on my post. You can also see posts that you've made from your subscriptions, any reactions to your posts, and also anything that's to do with the project. So you can see that Jane Doe has updated a new sprint, and a new milestone and everything like that. Anything relating to the project you can see on there. And say if someone created a post right now, it would show up on my notifications feed and I'd be able to view it from there. So if you hadn't seen before, these are what our notifications look like when you have unread notifications. So it will show up with a little icon on how many unread notifications you have. And if I click on these will show me it and the notifications will disappear. So these notifications can be anything relating to your post. So if someone high fives or comments on your post, if someone creates a new post in the group that you're subscribed to, if someone creates a new sprint, event, deadline, or milestone within a project, you'll get notified. And you'll also get notified if those deadlines or milestones are ending or are about to end. As you can see here on the fourth one down, the deadline is finished and the presentation has occurred. And if you look a bit below that, the event barbecue ends in 1 day. So you'll get notifications for when they're going to end within 1 day, within 1 hour, and when they have actually ended. Another feature we have implemented is our messaging feature. So if I click on this button up here, it will show me a list of all the previous conversations I have. So these conversations can either be with a singular person or with a group. Say this one here with ACO, it's a singular person, so it's just showing his icon and just his username. And if it's a group chat, it will show the icon and with how many people in the group, and also all the members of the groups and their names in a comma separated list. And if I go into the chats, I can see all the messages like that. And I click off and go on my other screen and say, send a message to someone, and I will get a notification up, and I'll be able to click on the message, and it will be obvious that I haven't seen the message yet, and that will be sorted to the top of the list. So once I click on the message, it will disappear, and I'll be able to view it, and the notification won't be there anymore. And I can also reply to them, and I can say something, and it will send over to them. And if I reply on the other one, it will send through like that, and you'll be able to message people. So that's a really good feature for us to have, and we're really proud of that, and we're really happy with how it turned out. So we can also create new conversations if you so wish to do so, and I will have my old conversation set up here. But if I go on here, I can create a new conversation, say with Shaylin, and it will pop up down here, and I can go create it like that and say hi to him. I can also create new group chats, and if I wanted to do that, I can add Andrew and Zahid. And if that group chat already exists, or there's a group chat with those specific people in it already, it will tell me that, and it will be able to open the conversation, and it will show all the previous messages like that. And that's just saying how good of a group we are. And yeah, thank you for looking to our demo, and we hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.